Hey, and welcome to the Meditations and Musings podcast. I'm Elena Lipson. I'm a mama, I'm a wife, and I'm the founder of the Divine Self-Care Circle membership and the Virtual Retreat Academy. I don't believe that you have to sacrifice your body, your health, or your family in order to create true abundance and prosperity. I believe in living based on the divine feminine metrics of success, and these include pleasure, play, ease, grace, and a slower pace. Each week, I'll bring you 1 to 2 new episodes. One of these will be a guided meditation that you don't have to do on the meditation pillow, and the other will be a conversation to help you access your inner wisdom, to ignite abundance, and inspire others to do the same. I invite you to join me on this journey back to the magic of a divinely aligned and well cared for you. And now, join me for today's episode.
Hello and welcome to the Divine Self-Care Meditations and Musings podcast. I'm so thrilled to have you back here today. We're going to dive right into today's meditation because it's short, sweet, and powerful. It's all about cutting those cords, those negative connections, and plugging into source, plugging into light, plugging into divine. And this is something you can do really quickly, or you can take your time, slow it down, and do it at your own pace. First, I'm going to walk you through a simple relaxation that puts you into a receptive, creative mode. And then we're going to walk through the visualization. So if you want to pause right now and get into a place where you can relax, that's awesome. If you happen to be driving or walking or doing something else, it's actually kind of cool. You can still follow along. Walking meditations are some of my favorites. So all you need to do is get super present and follow my directions to breathe and relax your body. You can still get the same benefits even if you're not closing your eyes. But then the cool thing is you can always come back and do it again. This is not a one and done. This is actually a practice. It's a ritual of cutting cords. If you've never heard of cutting cords, I'll give you a little bit of background, but then we're going to dive right in. Cutting cords is like, if you think about a cord, it's almost like when you called someone and you had a conversation. I mean, let's go old school here. Remember phones that attached to the wall? When you made a phone call, there was actually a cord connected to the phone, and the phone line went through the wall and under the earth and all the way to the other person somehow magically, right? Wherever they were in the world, it was done by wires and cords. And so imagine if you had the conversation, whether it was good or bad or tense or whatever, and then when you hung up the phone, it didn't quite hang up all the way. So there was a little bit of a signal still going, and then there was like that busy signal that you heard a few minutes later. Well, it's kind of like that. When you have an interaction with someone, whether it's a relationship, like a full-fledged relationship with someone, or just a quick interaction at the store, maybe it was not a very positive interaction, and then you are finding yourself just thinking about them all day long and like the most inappropriate times, and you're just so annoyed because you're thinking, why am I still thinking about this situation? I let it go a long time ago. Well, you might be connected energetically, and sometimes it's not something you did or they did. In fact, it rarely ever is. It's almost like a science experiment. Like some people's energies just connect and stay connected. It's like magnetism. And others you can walk by and not even notice. So especially if you've had an extended relationship with someone, you probably have some energetic cords attached. And let's take it a step further into the woo-woo land, which I adore and live in. Sometimes the place on your body where this energetic cord is connected corresponds to having a stomachache or having a heartache or feeling like your throat is constricted because depending on the particular part of your body that you have this feeling, that's where the cord might be connected. And again, there is no right or wrong here. There's nothing you can do to attach a cord. No one's done it to you. It just happens because we are lots and lots of people who are also walking energy. That's what we are scientifically. And sometimes we just connect with someone and we're bound to them in this weird way. And so mindfully doing things like saging your body, taking Epsom salt baths, being in nature, those are ways you can regularly begin to release some of those energetic connections just by simply being around people, especially if you travel. If you're around hundreds and hundreds of people who are traveling from all over the world. You're like in an airport or a bus station or wherever. You're going to be next to lots and lots of people, especially if you're sitting next to people, walking next to people, people who are, energetically closed or open. And then all of a sudden you're just like tired or you're drained or you're exhausted more than just from travel. It's because you've been around all these people. So there's lots of really cool spiritual practices you can do, like carrying crystals, like using sage. And when I travel, I actually use a liquid smudge, like a sage, that you can actually use to clear your energy. But the most powerful one of all is being in nature, especially if you can swing being in nature barefoot, or if you can be in the ocean and let the ocean salt clear you, even just your feet on sand or earth. So those are natural ways to do that. And if you want some guidance on some spiritual rituals, head on over to elenalipson.com/gift. That's where you can learn more about my 66 sacred rituals. And I have a ton of practices in there that you can use. And there's even a special coupon code on that page for you. So go ahead and check that out when you have time. But for now, let's go ahead and just become receptive to the idea. Even if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know what chords are. I don't even know about energy. But you do know yourself, you know your body, and you know that there are some times that you just can't stop thinking about someone and you'd rather stop, or you feel icky or, like dark emotions after connecting with someone. And it could have been years, and all of a sudden you find yourself thinking about them and you find yourself just feeling heavy. You find yourself feeling negative, and it could be a bad interaction that happened. It could be an old resentment. It could be anger or sorrow. Those are the ones that really have those powerful connections to you. And those are the ones that can really hinder your expansion and your feeling light in your body and feeling like you're moving forward. And it actually can drain your energy. So I'm going to show you how to quickly relax your body and then to visualize yourself releasing these cords. It could be multiple cords. And again, you don't have to see it exactly. You can just sense it. And if you're even if you're just feeling a little cynical, it's okay. Just go with it. Be playful. Just see what happens. See if you can feel a difference afterwards. Because I've seen this happen so many times. I've done it for myself. And even just visualizing it, because your imagination connects to your energy. So you can really feel the difference afterwards. So let's go ahead, and whether you're walking and you can't close your eyes, or if you are in a place where you can close your eyes, go ahead and start tapping into your breath. Just noticing your breath. If you can be in a relaxed position, whether you're sitting in a chair or you're lying flat, just give yourself a chance to settle into your body. Just feel your feet, feel your legs, your hands, your fingers, and just start to notice your breath. Just taking your inhale and your exhale a little bit deeper. Maybe inhale to the count of 4. And exhale to the count of 4. Allowing the breath to bring your attention into the moment. And do that 1 or 2 more times at your own pace. Inhaling to the count of 4. Maybe even holding it for a beat. And exhaling to the count of 4. Even just acknowledging how the breath and attention on your breath allows you to come into the present moment, which is where all the magic happens. And just begin by placing your attention at the top of your head. And as I say each body part, just breathe into it, whether it's on the in-breath or the out-breath, and allow that breath to soften that part, even if it's just a few degrees. We're not looking for total relaxation so you fall asleep, just looking for a sense of being in your body and releasing any tension that you might be holding. Become aware of your face and your eyes, releasing any tension behind your eyes. Continuing to breathe, release any tension in your ears, your jaw, your tongue, even parting your lips an inch or so, or half an inch, and letting your tongue fully relax and your jaw muscles relax. As you continue breathing, become aware of your neck and your throat. Become aware of your chest and your shoulders, your upper back. Allowing the breath to send relaxing pulses of energy into those areas. Become aware of your arms, your hands, and your fingers. Continuing to breathe. Become aware of your solar plexus and your middle back. Continuing to breathe lightness and air and warmth and relaxation into those parts of your body as I say each one. Continuing to breathe and become aware of your lower belly and your lower back, your side body. Sometimes even a nice sigh around that area can help you to get into a deeper state of relaxation. Becoming aware of your hips, your pelvis, your glute muscles, letting them just sink into the warmth and relax with each breath. Continuing to become aware of your legs, your hips, your thighs, your calves, your shins, and finally your feet and your toes, perhaps wiggling your toes a bit, become aware of them fully. And then allowing your roots to unfurl naturally like a fern into the ground, connecting down into the energy of the earth, grounding it into the regenerative energy of the soil and the rocks, and the ancient wisdom of the earth, allowing yourself to bring your attention to the center of the earth, feeling how grounded and rooted you are into the moment. Positive cord, positive energetic connection to the earth. Allowing the earth's energy to go back up your roots, spiraling up, back into your feet, up your legs. Perhaps you feel a little bit of a tingling in your feet. Allowing the energy to come back up your legs, your thighs, your hips, into your belly, up your spine, all the way up through your throat chakra, up through your head and out your crown chakra, all the way up. And take a nice deep breath as we begin exploring the cords, the energetic connections that we're ready to release. And this beautiful visualization is inspired by The Joy of Visualization book by Valerie Wells. Beautiful resource. Cords are ties that bind. There are positive cords, positive connections you form with people. Love, joy, respect, intimacy, and trust. These energetic connections bind you in a healthy way. The negative ties, anger, sorrow, grief, hurt, resentment, betrayal. These cords bind and become restricting rather than liberating, contracting rather than expanding. every negative cord and connection begins to drain your energy. And the more of them there are, the more emotionally entangled and tense you become. So now imagine that you're standing barefoot on the earth, on the soil. You might be on soft, warm dirt, or on warm sand, or in the middle of a garden with bright, beautiful flowers all around you. You could even be on firm ground in the clearing in the forest. The bright blue sky is overhead. It's clear and sunny as far as you can see in all directions. When you look down, you begin to notice that there are cords sprouting from your body in various directions. You might see or sense them kind of like a telephone line or a rope or a string. Some might be really thick. Others might be thin as a string. Some are flexible and glowing with light. Others are dark and stiff. Each of these lines or cords represents a connection that you have with someone. The stronger the connection, the thicker the cord. The healthier the bond, the brighter it glows. The ones that are muddy and heavy and dark symbolize the connections that are not as loving, that are unhealthy, with no life energy or light flowing through them. Your subconscious may or may not show you which cord is connected with which person, and that's okay. You may see or sense a person at the end of the cord, or it might simply disappear into space. You notice that certain areas of your body that have strong emotional attachments, such as your heart center, your belly, your back, might sprout thick clusters of cords. The dark ones are considered negative because they have caused you heartache, or something that you couldn't stomach or digest, or that have weighed heavily on your soul. If you realize that a particular part of your body has caused you some chronic trouble, check to see if that part of your body has a negative connection, and maybe who it's connected to, and you might not even see the person, and that's okay. Those dark, thick, stiff cords are the ones that you want to cut loose. Those are the ones that drain you of energy and keep you tense and stuck in the past. So now ask yourself, what do you want to cut them with? Perhaps a sturdy pair of golden scissors or shears, a silver sword, or a dagger. Choose whatever feels most powerful to you. Now pick it up in your hand and feel the coolness and the weightiness of the metal. And don't worry about cutting a healthy connection by mistake. Whatever instrument you've chosen has the magical quality of only being able to cut through negative cords. It leaves the healthy ones intact. And best of all, there is no pain. So go ahead and begin cutting the dark, unhealthy cords one by one, or just slice through them all at once. You might feel a little bit of pressure or resistance as you begin to cut those ties, but no matter how thick they are or how long they've been there, they're easily cut. The end that's attached to someone else just begins to disintegrate and whips away into space. It crumbles away without pain, leaving no mark or scar. As each cord is severed and falls away, you begin to feel noticeably lighter and buoyant and glowing and cheerful. No longer bound by ties of negative energy that drain you. You are now free to enjoy the loving ties and put your attention on those. And if you notice any cords that aren't attached to you but haven't been pulled back to the person, imagine those cords being plugged into the earth instead of you. Because ultimately, those people who those cords are attached to are not inherently bad in any way. They just connected to you in a way that you no longer need to hold on to. So just energetically plug those into the earth. And that way they can receive the earth's ancient healing wisdom. Now, it's not your responsibility to heal those others, but it is an act of compassion to allow those cords to get plugged into the healing energy of Mother Earth. And now take a nice deep breath and a nice big sigh. You can put down those shears or the sword and just offer a blessing of gratitude to them, to yourself, and to those old connections that perhaps have drained you negatively over time. But the truth is, we learn from every single experience, even the dark ones, even the heavy ones, even the hurt ones, the ones that caused us such deep sorrow, pain, and sadness, have also created wisdom and empathy and compassion within us. So go ahead and honor them with gratitude. And you can turn yourself physically around and just simply walk in the other direction. Enjoying your new lightness and remembering that anytime you feel like you have created a new cord with someone and you'd rather it not be there, you simply have to get into a place of relaxation, awareness, and attention. Get yourself to a place of earthing into the ground by bare feet on the ground. And then just begin to disconnect those cords lovingly with compassion and joy. No added resentment, no added anger is necessary. Those cords simply fall away. Now that you have this new tool in your self-care toolkit, use it consistently. Use it with joy. Share it with those who feel like they have old connections that they need to release. Share this episode with them. Let them enjoy the peace, the lightness, the joy of releasing those old cords that bind. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed this visualization. I'd love to hear from you. Head on over to Instagram. If we're not connected there, you can find me at Elena_Lipson. Let me know. Let me know how this was for you. Or you can leave a comment and review. Make sure you're subscribed so you know whenever there's a new meditation or musing that comes out. Have an incredible rest of your day. And again, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you on the next episode of the Divine Self-Care Meditations and Musings podcast. Take care.
Thank you so much for listening and learning about the new Divine Self-Care way of being in your life, business, and the bedroom based on the divine feminine metrics of success: pleasure, play, ease, grace, and a slower pace. If you're ready to bust the myth of overwhelm and tap into an inspired start to each day, I've put together a free video series for you to help you start each day with energy, inspiration, and ignite that inner pilot light which attracts joy, magic, and synchronicity. You can access my 3-step magic morning practice to help you ignite your inner light and attract the abundance that you're craving. Head on over to elenalipson.com/gift. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would so love if you share it with a friend, a sister, a mother, a daughter, and please leave a review. That is how the magic starts to ripple out. Here's wishing you a day full of beauty, magic, and divine self-care. I'll see you next time at the Meditations and Musings podcast.